How is it going, Bears fans? Welcome back to another episode of Beared Down Uncut, where we talk everything Bears every day of the week. Is 81 overall a fair team rating for the Chicago Bears in Madden 21? And which player in the top 10's rating will jump the most in 2020? That's right. Today we are going to be breaking down the Madden 21 ratings for the Chicago Bears. Welcome back to the show, guys. I would like to say, before the end of the summer, we are pushing hard, trying to make as much content as possible during a dry time, doing our best to continue to head towards 1,800 subscribers. We're about 30 away right now, so if you are new to the channel and want more Chicago Bears content, do us a favor. Click the like button, also click the red button to subscribe, and click the bell for notifications whenever we post. I am your host, Chris Malpe, and today I am joined with my co-host, Jaylen McClinton, and also video producer and editor at Beared Down Media, Zach Rimbos. How's it going, guys?
Doing pretty well. How are you doing?
I'm doing good. I just ran a couple miles. I'm trying to get my cardio up before I head back to college, obviously hoping that it happens. So I'm running every day before I go back to school. But Jaylen, how's it going, man?
Pretty good. I'll be home soon. Hopefully,
good stuff.
Training camp, and I'll be able to make it before. Well, I'm not starting college school this year, so hopefully I'll make it before. If it does start, hopefully I'll be there.
Absolutely. I doubt we'll have fans at training camp. But that being said, still want to see it happen so we can make some great content for you guys soon. So let's head through the Bears' ratings in Madden 21. Coming off an 8-8 season in 2019, not a bad rating. The Bears actually are just outside the top 10 for teams and overalls. The Bears are rated at 81 overall, 11th best in the game, an 85 overall rating on defense, while the offense checks in at a 79 overall. Now let's head through the top 10 players. Obviously at the top, you've got the man who was in the 99 club last year for Madden. He is a 97 overall this year, Khalil Mack, only player in the 90s for the Bears. Arguably, there could have been maybe one or two more, but that being said, let's head down the depth chart. Number 2, you have tied Eddie Jackson and Allen Robinson the second at 89 overall, Akeem Hicks with an 88. Cornerback 1, Kyle Fuller at an 85, Eddie Goldman with an 84. Roquan Smith is at an 83. The newly acquired Robert Quinn is at an 82. And then Charles Leno and Cody Whitehair, the offensive lineman, close it out at 81 overall. So not that bad of a rating. We're going to go around the circle now and answer some questions. We're all avid Madden players, so I'm pretty sure we were all pretty happy about these ratings when they leaked this morning. But Jaylen, I want to start with you. Do you think an 81 overall is a fair team rating with the 79 offense and 85 defense?
Yeah, I definitely think that's fair. If I'm information correct, we're the 11th best team in the game, which is right outside the top 10, and I'm definitely fine with that. Madden didn't underestimate us like a lot of media outlets are, having us go 6-10, 5-11, and stuff like that. So I'll definitely take an 81. And hopefully during the season we increase and get into that top 10. But I'll definitely take an 81. The offense is obviously I'll take that a 79 offense. The offense was terrible last year, and obviously Madden thinks we got better on the offensive side of the ball. In 85 defense, I'm not surprised we have one of the best defenses in the NFL. So I definitely think that's a good rating for us.
I mean, you look at all the media hate the Bears have gotten this offseason, whether it be Kyle Fuller not being ranked in the top 20 cornerbacks, or something like Eddie Jackson not being rated in the top 10 safeties, Khalil Mack not being a top 5 pass rusher. It's been ridiculous, and I think this Madden rating, obviously it's a video game, but EA Sports really shows how much talent is truly on this Bears team, and I think 81 is totally a fair team rating. I honestly think the offense could have been lower. I think the offense could have been around a 77, and I think the defense could have been higher, around an 87, like one of the best defenses in the game. But that being said, I'm totally cool with an 81 overall rating, 11th best. It shows how good this team can be this year if they perform properly. I know it's going to be a fun team to use in franchise mode in regards to Madden players. Maybe we'll get some Madden content running on this channel slightly when we head into the 2020 season. I know we're all avid Madden players. I touched on it earlier. But that being said, there's a lot to look forward to on this 81 overall team. Darnell Mooney is going to be a good progression player with 93 speed. He only comes in, I think, like a 66 overall. But that being said, there's a lot of pieces on this Bears team that can definitely progress and help this rating move upwards, as Jaylen said, as the 2020 season progresses. So, Zach, what are your thoughts on an 81 overall team rating? You think it's pretty fair?
Yeah, you guys absolutely nailed it on the head. I mean, talking about the offseason, how many people counted us out, how many people really were just kind of picking apart the Bears for the problems that they have, especially on offense. So I agree. I think that 79 for our offense is pretty good. I feel like it's almost more generous, especially after last season. But, yeah, definitely 81 overall. Being tied with the Packers, I think, is something to look forward to. But – yeah, I would say, I mean, everything you guys said was right on the head. 81 is a very fair rating for us.
Yeah.
And as always, I mean, it can always increase, so let's hope. But, yeah, 81's fair. I agree with it.
Yeah, I know that the Detroit Lions clock in at a 77 overall. I know that the Green Bay Packers are also an 81 overall. Just looking at the other team ratings right now, the Bears are tied for 11th best in the league out of the Madden ratings with the Cleveland Browns, the Buffalo Bills, the Los Angeles Chargers, the Green Bay Packers, New England Patriots, and Las Vegas Raiders. Just so you guys know, the Packers do clock in with an 83 offense, 79 defense. Head down a little bit further, the Vikings come in one overall shorter, 80 overall, a little bit more of a rounded out team with 80 offense, 81 defense, and then heading down towards the bottom, you have the Detroit Lions, 77 overall with its 77 offense and a 79 defense. Yeah, I mean, you can't really be mad at that whatsoever. I think we're all not complaining at all. Now let's head into some individual player ratings. First one I want to touch on is Kyle Fuller. Obviously a player who did allow 956 yards and 2 touchdowns last year, which doesn't look great on paper, but that being said, a new defense. Fuller has solidified himself as a cornerback 1 on a team that is very solid on the defensive side of the ball, and he's done a very good job at solidifying himself. So I want to ask you guys, Fuller comes in at an 85 overall. We don't know the exact ratings yet as far as accolades and stuff like that goes, but I want to ask you guys, do you guys think Kyle Fuller got a little bit gypped here on the rating? Where do you think he should be rated? Because I personally would probably put him anywhere between 86 and 90 overall. I think like an 87 would be perfect for him. But Zach, what do you think about Kyle Fuller's 85 overall rating?
Yeah, I mean, it's not awful. I honestly, I agree with you. I feel like an 87 would be more kind of for him just because of all the things he's done, especially in 2018, his production rate. And, he was definitely a top 5 cornerback in the league at that time. I think after last year, some people saw that he just regressed so much. And like you said, he gave up so many yards that people just kind of have kept counting him out. But he still made the Pro Bowl last season. He's still an All-Pro. I think that, 87 would probably be something that I think he deserves. I think that we talked about it before we jumped on. I feel like with the changing of a system and Chuck Pagano's system, it doesn't allow him to play as aggressively on the ball. So I think that he just wasn't able to do that as much this season, which hurt him. So I think 85 is a little too low. But, other than that, if you look at all the other people, which we'll get into, I don't think it's too disrespectful.
Yeah, the Bears didn't get much disrespect from EA Sports, surprisingly, with the media spew this entire offseason. But, Jaylen, what do you think? How's Kyle Fuller's rating?
I'm actually not mad at it. I probably would give him an 86, 87 as well. I'm just mad that, one person that I realized who were higher than him that I feel like definitely shouldn't is his brother, Kendall Fuller, who he was an 86 overall. So I felt like that was kind of, disrespectful. His brother never made a Pro Bowl or All-Pro team like Kyle has. So I just felt like that was a little disrespectful. But the rating in general is not that bad for him to allow so many yards last season.
There's one more rating that may be a little low, but when I think about it more, it's not that low. Looking at Roquan Smith, he clocks in at an 83 overall, which to start the season, at least in Ultimate Team, will be an elite card. Very high praise for Roquan. I expect that rating to get a lot higher during the season. If you look at his accolades throughout his time in Chicago, obviously 121 tackles in 16 games his rookie year. And then last year in 12 games, 101 tackles. He was looking to shatter his record. That being said, Roquan will get an elite card this year in Madden, something I'm very excited about. But maybe he could be one rating higher. Robert Quinn's also another player that we have to bring into discussion at 82 overall. So is there any other players you guys think are a little bit low?
I'll go. I mean, honestly, looking at the list, I love that Eddie Goldman's an 84 because we've said this so many times. We talked about him, and we've said we think Eddie Goldman is one of the most underrated players on the defense. But, I mean, looking at other people, I think I am in agreement. I think Robert Quinn could be boosted just a little bit. He had 11.5 sacks last season, and he was one of the best win rates in the NFL, or he was the best win rate in the NFL against double teams. I think it's a little disrespectful, but that's fine to me. I honestly, Leno at 81 is a little surprising to me.
Yeah, we'll get into that.
Agree.
Yeah,
I definitely agree with Whitehair, but I don't know about boosting anybody else. I think these are all fair ratings besides maybe Fuller and maybe Roquan Roquan will develop, but Robert Quinn definitely I'd say boost a little bit more. But yeah.
What do you think, Jaylen? Any players on this list that come out to you as a little bit low in the top 10?
No, only thing I would do is probably increase Eddie to a 90 overall. He's one of the best safeties in the league, but that's about it. Like you guys said, we'll talk about Leno and that 81 rating, but everybody else, I feel like that's pretty fair.
Yeah, and the one rating we do have to talk about that's a little bit high. I mean, 9 of these 10 players are pretty well respected and well ranked. The one player we do have to talk about is Charles Leno. Obviously, I think 13 penalties and 6 sacks allowed there in 2019, and he got an 81 rating, which will come in as an elite card. I think he could have been a lot lower, if I'm being completely honest. I think probably a fair rating for Leno. I think he was elite last year, but that being said, I think a fair rating for him would probably be, for me, 76, 77, maybe even 75. So, Zach, you think that's a little bit high?
Oh, absolutely. I mean, no disrespect to Leno. Like, I love the guy, but last year he just was not performing to any rate that was acceptable for us. And I mean, I would honestly put James Daniels up there instead of Leno.
Oh yeah,
but I wouldn't put him at 81 though. I would put James Daniels maybe 79ish, and I would knock. I'm in agreement with you. I was going to put Leno at like 76 maybe. But yeah, I mean, honestly, and I think the disrespect to Whitehair is a little bit too. I feel like he was definitely the best player on the line last year.
Oh yeah.
So I feel like he should be. I mean, 81's fair, definitely for how awful the line was last year. But yeah, I mean, other than that, that's where I would switch. I think Leno should be decreased to probably 76 is what I'd say.
You bring up a very good point there with James Daniels. Definitely a player that's only improving, but has struggled a little bit switching positions there between guard and center. But Jaylen, what do you think? Is Leno's rating too high at 81, and where would you rank him personally?
It definitely was. I feel like he shouldn't be in the same range as Cody Whitehair. Cody White, I still feel like Cody Whitehair is a little low at 81. He's our best offensive lineman in this roster right now. He got that big contract last offseason, right before the season for a reason. He's been very reliable since we tracked him. But I'm not gonna complain because in Madden, I don't want Leno to get blown up like he did in real life last season. So I don't think he deserves it, but I'm not gonna complain about it. Trust me.
Oh yeah, absolutely not. So let's continue looking down these ratings. We got 2 more questions to answer, and these ones are going to get a little bit interesting. So we obviously have these top 10 players. Who do you guys think will jump the most in 2020? There's a lot of good answers you could have here, and it can even be a player that's not on the list. So let me know, what do you guys think? Who's going to jump the most?
Okay, I'm going to go. Honestly, I'm going to say, I just want to say, like, it's interesting to me that Trevathan isn't on this list. I think that's a player that a lot of people are forgetting about, what he does for that defense and how, important he is to that leadership position, that locker room role that he has and how great he is. He was injured last season. I would say, I think Roquan's going to take a jump up for sure. Akeem, I think he's going to go up a little bit. And I think Eddie's going to go up. Mm-hmm. And definitely Fuller, too.
Even Allen Robinson.
I think Eddie Jackson's. Yeah. Yes, I think honestly, I mean, there's so many players that I think will take a boost, just me being biased as well. But if you look at it from the perspective of the offense can only improve, hopefully, then I would say, Allen Robinson goes up. Hopefully we see Cole Kmet has a really good card at some point if he's fit into that role or and sitting behind Jimmy Graham. But yeah, other than that, definitely like most of the defensive players. Like I think Roquan will go up, Fuller will go up, Eddie will go up, Akeem probably, Robert Quinn, but.
Yeah, just to differentiate my answer from you a little bit, I'm going to go with Robert Quinn, who's sitting at an 82 overall. I think it's a little bit disrespectful for him coming off a year where he had 11.5 sacks, only an 82 overall. But that being said, I don't know what he was rated at the beginning of the 2019 season with Madden 20. But I think Robert Quinn can only go up. You know, we've talked about it so much on the podcast throughout the time since he's been signed. And Robert Quinn's going to have all the opportunities to get in a three-point stance and bully some offensive linemen, and it's something that Leonard Floyd could not do. So as long as Robert Quinn can be successful, I do think that rating's going to be significantly jumping here in 2020 and in Madden 21. The Bears defense always is a fun team to use. You know, obviously when they throw the legends in there, we can obviously get Walter Payton, Gale Sayers, Mike Brown, Brian Urlacher. There's so many good pieces too, and Charles Tillman. There's so many fun guys to use if you make a Bears theme team, an ultimate team. But that being said, I'm getting a little off track. Jaylen, what do you think? Which player in the top 10's rating will jump the most in 2020?
You want me to just talk about players in the top 10, or can I?
You can mention someone else as well if you want, someone that's not in this top 10. I know what you're going to say.
Top 10, yeah, top 10 is definitely going to be Roquan. He's going to have a better season than he did in his rookie season. He had a great rookie season before he got hurt last year. So I definitely think this is the year that a lot of people consider Roquan a top 5, top 10 linebacker, and I definitely don't disagree, especially when he's healthy. But I think this is going to be a season where he turns into a top 3 linebacker and he becomes an all-pro. So I definitely feel like he's going to jump up from the 83 overall to maybe high 80s, maybe in the low 90s. But somebody not in the top 10, I got a couple. That I definitely can see increasing is David Montgomery. I definitely think if Nagy uses him right, and he gets more carries in this offensive line improves, we're definitely going to see a huge season out of him. Anthony Miller, in the last 8 games he had great production. Had more yards than he did in his rookie season. His touchdown did go down, but his yards and receptions went up. And then I'm pretty sure Chris already knows I'm going to say Mitch. I've been saying this since
he's got to earn the starting job first, man.
He's gonna get it out. If you watch Mitch on like social, he doesn't really be on social media. His girlfriend be posting him working out all the time. The coaches have said he's made gains in his play with his footwork and reading defenses and stuff like that. So when the season comes along and Mitch was starting, I definitely feel like he's gonna get a big increase. I'm not gonna say he's gonna be a 90, but maybe low 70s, high 70s, low 80s.
Yeah, it's definitely a good point you bring up there with David Montgomery. I think we would all love to see him at like an 82 and 83 by the end of the season. I think it's definitely something that could happen if Matt Nagy does use him right. So good point you brought up there, Jaylen. One last question here. Obviously, the Bears sit at an 81 overall right now with a 79 offense and an 85 defense. So we're going to go around the circle right now. At the end of the 2020 season, if things go well, I want you guys to predict where the Bears will be at a Madden rating at the end of the 2020 season. So I'm going to go first. I'm going to say an 83 offense and a 90 overall defense, putting us at an 86 overall. I think the Bears defense obviously is bound to be solid this year. We fixed the issues in the front 7. And I do think the offense, which has probably struggled throughout time to get over that 80 overall rating, will prosper a little bit. I don't think it's going to be anything incredible. But that being said, I think an 86, 87 rating by the end of the year. I don't think anyone would complain with that. Obviously, the year hasn't started yet. But that being said, I think none of us would complain if the Bears defense and offense both prospered and ended up at like an 86, 87 overall. So my prediction is going to be 86 overall by the end of the year. Zach, what do you think?
I'm going to say, hoping that everything goes well. If you look at the Saints right now, they're 85 overall, which is the highest in the league, actually. But I think I agree with you. Obviously, the ratings go up as the year goes on, and it gets higher. But I'm going to go with an 85. I think the defense is going to be somewhere around 88, 89, and then the offense will slate in probably around low 80s. But yeah, I'm going to go with like an 85. I think that's fair. I think that's just for the team, just below yours as well. But yeah, that's my rating.
All right, Jaylen, close it off. What do you think? Where are the Bears going to end up at the end of the 2020 year in regards to a team rating?
Hopefully, we're the highest team in the league because that means we're playing extremely well. But being realistic, I'm gonna go with an 85 too. I think the defense is gonna be like 88, 89, and the offense jumps up like to 81. I don't expect the offense to take a huge step, just do better than last year, but you can't get much worse than our offense was terrible last year. So I'm gonna go with an 85 as well. That's very it's above average, and I'll take that, honestly.
Absolutely. So thank you guys so much for tuning into episode 56 of Uncut. I think this is one of the most fun Uncuts I've recorded in some time. Being a big Madden player myself, that was a lot of fun to talk about. And I think the Bears got some good respect this year from EA Sports. So kudos to them for definitely throwing us a bone there with the offseason that we've had. If you guys want more content from us, do us a favor, head over to beareddown.com. One of our staff writers, Michael Labalarte, is going to be writing an article soon, breaking down all of the ratings, talking about whether some players are too high or too low and stuff like that. That'll be up tomorrow, which will be July 15th. Also, you can find us on Instagram and Twitter. Find sneak peeks of the podcast at Beared Down. You can also find the links to Zach, Jaylen, and my Instagram fan pages down in the description. Boys, any last words? It's been a while since we recorded, but this was surely a fun one.
Jaylen, go ahead.
I'm finally going to get my hoodie that I ordered in mid-April. I guess it got lost or something.
The Beared Down hoodie?
Yeah,
bro,
it's the first drop, too.
It's the first drop, yeah. I don't care because I'm finally getting my Beared Down hoodie that I paid $40 for. So, I'm going to show it off when I finally get it. That's Beared Down.
There's a lot of – I've been very busy recently, but I'm back fully, so hopefully I can push out. If you guys have any content that you want to see specifically from me, like highlights, I was discussing this with Chris before, but if there's anything you guys want to see that we can upload to the YouTube, just drop a comment. We might do a poll or something too. But yeah, I'm back now, so hopefully we can push out a little bit more content in terms of the YouTube and Bear Down, and let's hope that training camp is supposed to be in
July 28th, 2 weeks.
28th, so yeah. So hopefully that's still on time. If not, we can only pray that it's as early as possible. And yeah, that's it for me.
I'm just getting gimpy over being able to cover the season full-fledged because of the past at Bear Down.
I know, dude.
We've been inconsistent on our content, so I'm just hoping the season happens so we can recover it. We can get back to doing our favorite segments with three key factors, our pregame shows, and meet the opponents. A lot of fun stuff coming up in the next couple of months. We're heading back to school in a month. But that being said, as long as everything pans out in regards to this virus, we're looking good to go. Thank you guys for tuning in. Once again, my name is Chris Malpe. The first vaccine in the United States was tested today, and the testing's going well, helping people's respiratory systems a lot, and it has one final stage to go through before being declared a vaccine. So that is one very, very positive note in some dark times. So let's hope that can pass the final test and get distributed out throughout the country. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. Bears fans, do us a favor, continue to stay safe, wear your masks, and as always, bear down. We'll see you in the next one. Peace.